midnight sun we stand, bearded brothers hand in hand. Rocks and fjords, they hear our call. We rise together, never fall. Charity flows like rivers wide. Hearts of gold we cannot hide. Unity in every deed. From every seed we plant a creed. Bearded villains we unite. In the darkest, coolest night. Brotherhood our guiding light. We'll stand together strong and breed. Bearded villains we unite. In the darkest, coolest night. Brotherhood our guiding light. We'll stand together strong and right.
Hello, everybody. Hello. It is a Thursday night. And today, what is today? Today's the 25th. Today is the 25th of September, 2025, Thursday night. And you are here with me. And hey, so far, knock on wood, everything is routing like it's supposed to. I know it's dangerous for me to tempt fate by saying that, but you know what? At this point, after last week's debacles, many times over, I figure, what the heck, right? What the heck? You are here listening to the Heart of a Villain, the podcast and live stream devoted to the Bearded Villains Worldwide Brotherhood. And you're here with me. You're here with me live, hanging out. I love it. Thank you so much because, as I always say, there are lots of other things you could be doing tonight, but you chose to waste your time with me. Yeah, I know it's not really a waste. Sometimes it's like we're just hanging out, right? Sometimes it is. And tonight's going to be one of those nights because, man, getting back to work after last weekend, and we'll get into that if you know, you know. After last weekend, got into work and just everything was piled up because I took an extra day off work last week to prepare for, rough getting back to work this week. And I just kind of took some time and relaxed and just free time relaxed, had a bunch of other little things to take care of. And I wasn't able to, get an interview set up for anybody this week. And so this week's show, episode 246, is going to be a little bit shorter. Well, maybe a lot bit shorter. Who knows? We'll see where the night takes us. But I do want to talk in length a little bit about some of the cool stuff that happened last weekend over on the East Coast in Buffalo. So we'll get into all that in just a few minutes. But thank you so much for taking some time out with us so far this week. And if you're watching over on Amazon Prime, looks like the Cardinals-Seahawks game is about to get started here shortly too. So I know there's several of you may be interested in watching that as well. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, they got different uniforms on tonight. They're going with those Rivals uniforms tonight. Very interesting. But hey, we are here and we're going to hang out for a little bit and see where the night takes us. I have to say, cheers, first of all, to everybody with the I'm partaking with. If you can see that, the Northern Indiana rocks glass, one of 4. You can buy them on the website, BV Northern Indiana. If you want to, yes. Bearded Villains Northern Indiana, bvnorthernindiana.org. Go out there and grab some merch. We've got a series there's 4 different of these rocks glasses. They were a big hit at Ezra last year. And so, yeah, we were auctioning them off for the first time. But cheers to everybody if you're taking part tonight. Incidentally, I have to say thank you for the liquid that's inside this glass. I emptied a bottle tonight. It's the last little bit of a gift that I was given over at ECM, and I'll talk about that again in a second. But hey, let's say hi to some of the people that are here with us tonight. We got a smallish crowd in here live with us tonight, and that's totally okay. That is totally okay. We're going to enjoy the time and the people that we do have with us here tonight, for sure. And we're going to start off with, and as I always say, even if I know your name, I go by your YouTube name. So if you want me to call you by something different, change your YouTube name. But Bearded AF Vet, what is up? It was so good to hang out with you for a little bit this past weekend, man. he's one of the ones that I don't see very often because we live so far apart, and so gradually, occasionally we get to see each other at some of these events, and had some good talks, man. Good talks. That's what these things are about, I think. So I really appreciated being able to hang out with you for a bit this past weekend, and talk with you for sure. Buddy is hanging out with us as well. Buddy, man. I look forward to being able to hang out with old Buddy the next time I see him too. Good dude. And there's just something about listening to Buddy tell a tale that if you've never done it, uh, it needs to be on your bucket list. I love talking with Buddy as well. Thanks for chiming in with us and being here tonight. And then we got Demian in here, and he is saying hello from Northern California, listening while working. Man, hey, I love that. I love that. We used to have a bunch of people when I was at different times, and especially on Friday nights. We had a bunch of people that would listen to the show live from YouTube and just put their headphones in and get to work and be able to do all that stuff. So always great to hear that somebody is multitasking. I don't want you to take out too much of your personal time when you could be doing a bunch of other things. But hey, if you're working, you're already working. You're stuck at work, right? And so it looks like my microphone transferred over to something else again. I don't understand this, but it's still working. But I'm not sure why it's doing this. So we're gonna pivot for a second here. I tempted fate. And we see where that went with us, didn't we? So now we're going to try to figure out why we are not picking up this our microphone as we should. Let's see here. We're picking it up on that other end. Stand by one, folks, and we're going to fix this in a jiffy because for some reason the microphone doesn't want to recognize again. This time, at least, we should still be mic'd in some way, shape, or form. It probably just sounds like we're off in a distance here. So give me just a second. It sounds like I'm underwater a little bit because it's a little tiny microphone over here that's picking up right now. So stand by one, and we will get this thing fixed. And while we're here, I will say, hey, what are we going to do, right? If it's not one thing, it's another. I think I need to unplug every single microphone that I've got. So the only option is for it to route through is this one. It should not go to default to this other thing over here. If I took away, at least it's not going to the muted one, the one that was going to before, because I completely removed that from the computer. But for whatever reason, it's trying to get over here to this. So I have no idea why it's wanting to do that. But it sounds like I'm a little bit underwater. I apologize for that, for sure. And we'll get going here in just a second. See if we can get this thing to route appropriately where we need it to. So let's see what we got here. There it is. And we're back. We should be back. And we're back. Okay. Well, let's see how long that takes. Let's see how long that lasts. I don't know what to say. I've never had as many problems with my microphone and my system as I've had over the last like 5 weeks. 6 years of doing this show, I've never had as many problems as I have in the last 5 or 6 weeks with these microphones. So I'm not exactly sure. I guess I'm just gonna have to unplug anything that could possibly be mistaken for a microphone, and just do that. But so for now, let's just say this. This past weekend was much needed. The East Coast meet in Buffalo. The Empire State guys really hit a home run with this thing. I know that they were worried. They were worried about the possibilities of all sorts of different things coming up because it's the first time that they hosted a big thing like this. And I think that they knocked it out of the park. One of the things that I was really hoping for, because we don't always, the last couple of years, let's be honest, the last couple of years with BV has been trying, right? The last couple of years has been a rough go in some ways. And so when we go to these large meets like this, when we go to these meets with guys from all over different parts of the country, we don't really know how things are going to go. But one of the things that I was really hoping for this past weekend was, because going into it, I knew in talking with Hayes and talking with a few of the other guys from Empire State, I knew that the plan was to be less structured. And that's kind of something that we've taken to heart here in Northern Indiana as well for events. We want to have some structure to it, but the idea is to let people enjoy themselves and give options of things to do, but let you enjoy yourself. Let you get out there and do your thing and enjoy the company of all the people that are there. And that's exactly what happened. Both Friday night at the meet and greet, all day Saturday with a variety of different things that were going on. Open time to go out and sightsee, or go out after the flag shoot, which, by the way, pretty epic flag shoot. If you haven't seen that, I didn't want to share any pics from it on here because I want to shove you all to go over to the Empire State page and see the pictures out there. But I know they've been shared all over social media over the last week. But how often do you get a chance to take a photo shoot on a battleship? It doesn't happen often. First time for me. So very, very, very cool. And that was exciting. But the whole weekend, man, it was wall to wall, just hangout time and being able to sit and have those conversations and hear about how people's lives are going. What's going on with people? What's going on with you? What's going on with the family? What are some of the things that your chapter's doing right now? And it's just a lot of just hanging out. And I love that we're to that point now with many of these events, one of the great things that they did, I say great because our chapter did it last year, and we've seen a few other chapters now do it since then. And with the beard competition, we still want to keep the beard competition in the event, right? But one of the things that we've discovered is that, well, we didn't really discover it. We knew this all along, was that it's no fun. The beard competitions have gotten to the point where they're just no fun. And nobody wants to sit there for 3 or 4 hours watching dozens and dozens and dozens of people walk up on a stage, say their two or three lines, and walk away. That's so old now at this point, unless you're specifically there for a major, like a worldwide, like a world championship, something like that. You know what you're going into that for, right? But for in this case, this is a chance to just hang out. And so we wanted, I know we did this at Ezra last year, same thing again this year. And we've seen a few other chapters, and Empire State did it this year as well at the East Coast meet. It's such a cool thing to do, what I refer to as kind of an invisible beard competition. If you've never heard of this idea, the idea being that you have a beard competition, you register for it like you normally would, and you have your lanyard or whatever else to signify what category you're in. The great part about it is you're being judged the entire evening, that you're just hanging out with people, talking with people, meeting people, and you never know who the judges are. And at some point in the night, they call the beard competition over, and the judges come together and they decide based off of a variety of criteria, one being the beard, right? Part of it being the beard, of course. If they determine who the top 3 place getters, or top 2 in this case at the ECM, place getters are for each category. And the coolest part about that is, even the people that don't want to get up on stage, they don't have to get up on stage, right? They can still be a part of the beard competition because they met the judges at some point in the evening. The judges came up and got to talk to them, and even if it's just a quick drive-by, a quick walk-by real quick, they got to see, they got up close with the beard, and so they were able to make notes and determine, what that is. And the cool part about it is we also employ this thing. I know we did it here last year, which we kind of have the, what do you call it? Like the a-hole tax, right? I mean, if you are a complete jerk, if you're not approachable, if you're just an absolute ass, then that's going to count against you. And you won't know it because you may have been an ass to the wrong person. And what's that going to do for you? Well, that's going to disqualify you in many cases. So it also keeps you on your toes a little bit. And people are always wondering. It makes it kind of fun. You're always wondering, who are these people? Who are the judges? Is it my best friend right here that I've just been talking to for the last 10 hours? He never told me that he was a judge for this thing. Is it his wife? Right? Is it his significant other? I had no idea that they were a judge, but they didn't tell me about that being a judge. And the entire time I've been sitting there talking to him, So it's a really cool way of handling things, I think, and it gets the night through. You don't have to take up a huge block of the night or the event time to be able to do that, to do the beard competition, and it's so fun. So they took advantage of doing that this way, and here's what was really fun, and I loved that they did this, and I've seen this happen a couple of times now at some different beard comps, because you always have the best in show, right? You always have a best in show. And what they did, and I love that they did this, is that they did not 100% solely base the best in show on simply the beard, right? They didn't just base it on the beard. And they didn't require that to be considered for best in show, you didn't have to win your beard category in first place. Heck, for that matter, you didn't even have to place, right? You had a beard, you were in the beard competition, but it's so many other things that could come into play for that. And I really like that. If you want to focus on the beard for the beard competition itself, for the category, that's great. But a best in show needs to be a showman. Best in show needs to be somebody that stands out for their clothing, for their attitude, for their personality, for a variety of different factors, right? And man, that's exactly what happened this past week. Get out there and look at the photos. I mean to tell you what, brother man who won this thing was just, incredible. Walks out of the hotel, and I had to do a double take. I'm like, what are you wearing? That's amazing. More effort was put into that outfit than I put into my outfit on my wedding day. It was incredible. And he placed second in his category, I believe, but it didn't matter because hands down was best in show. And I was so happy to see that that's what they decided to base that off of, and that they didn't require it to be somebody from, a winning category or something like that, and that they had the best beard there type of a thing. So I wish more competitions that do beard competitions would do that, because I think that it really makes it fun, and it makes it unexpected, and you never know. So kudos to you, Empire State. That was awesome for that event, and so many more memories, so many more things to talk about that I look back on, and you flip through the pictures and oh my gosh, I forgot. Oh, he captured that. There's a photo of this now, and there's so much to remember. It was such a great time, and like I said, some of the best parts at these events, some of the best moments at these events that I will carry with me were those conversations, those one-on-one, two-on-one conversations where you're a small group of people and you're talking about everything from your personal life to family life to job life to BV life, and it's just sitting around talking with a brother who has something similar, something's going on with them. You have that commonality, and to me, that's what this thing is all about. To be able to meet and have conversations with our brothers from all over the globe, literally all over the globe, and be able to just hang out and talk about stuff. And man, you can't beat that. You really can't. And I think that's something that's one of those things that makes Bearded Villains so special, because we know that we can count on that. We know that if nothing else, we know wherever we're going to go, we're going to probably find one somewhere in that city, state, or in that country, or something like that. And it gives us the opportunity to learn. We learn from each other. Man, do we have the opportunity to learn from each other? Maybe I'm unique. I don't know. But those conversations, those one-on-one, the small group conversations, I love those so much because I get to learn from you. I get to learn from another brother or a sister, some part of them. And you get to walk away from these events different, right? You walk away from these events a little bit different than you did when you got there. And it could be because, man, somebody put something in perspective a little differently for you. It could be maybe you just learned something that you thought, you walked in the door, you walked through that event, and your mind was, one way. You were thinking one way about a certain topic, and through a conversation with a person, yeah, I didn't really think about that. I didn't think about, that could be a thing, and it can change your mindset. And not to say that it changes, it's going to change your opinion on it necessarily, but to me, that's what life is all about. To me, being able to have those conversations and being able to learn from other people, constantly learning, right? Constantly evolving and learning from other people, their opinions, what's important to them, and um, being able to share that point of view of yours with them. And that's what it's about. That's what life's about, man. So I'm very grateful to our East Coast bros for being everybody that was there this weekend. Got to see a lot of guys that I haven't seen in a year or two. Got to meet for the first time a whole bunch of new bros that I had not, that have come in since I've been over there on the East Coast last time. And as always, got to meet some for the first time in person that maybe I chatted with or commented with online. And then, of course, you have those that you've seen several times before. And it's always a good time to be able to just hang out with those guys as well. It never feels like you have enough time, though. It always feels like you're going to get interrupted from this conversation to go see this, do this. And you hope that you can maybe try to get back and have that conversation or finish that conversation up. And it's not always possible. And then the event ends, and then the next morning rolls around, Sunday morning rolls around, and then you're gone. And maybe they left the hotel before you did, or you had to leave the hotel before they did. And that's what makes makes leaving a little bit rough, right? A little bit sad, give you a little bit of a lull, or whatever you call that, once you get home. But I'm always grateful for it, and I always look forward to being able to continue that and have those moments again at the next event, which for me is going to be Ezra Crow on October 18th here in Northern Indiana. I would love to invite anybody that wants to come, man. We got airports to fly into. You can fly into South Bend, and I can come pick you up. If you want to fly into South Bend, I'll come pick you up and drag you across over to the event. If you're coming into Chicago, we've got people that we can go and go pick you up coming in. If you're going to fly into Chicago, if you're just going to drive, just come in and hang out with us, man. It's going to be a great time. If you've never been to Ezra Crow, if you've never been to our event, the Return of Ezra Crow, all I can tell you is it's different. It's different. It's unique, different from everything else. We aim to do just that, to put on a show, and we have fun. We have some organized activities. We do our Halloween costume contest, and it's the coolest thing to have adults, all of the adults, coming in and dress up, and even if it's a simple costume, right? I've seen people do something as simple as just put a piece of eyewear on their face and call it a day, or put a sticker or a patch on their shirt and call it a day. But then we have those that really get dressed up, and I mean, they plan for months what their costume's going to be. Some go out and just grab the first store-bought thing that they can find, but man, it's a cool thing, and that to me, and then you have the aspect of the event being family friendly, and some families, some bros and sisters bring their kids, and they dress up too, because of course we have the Halloween costume contest for the kids as well. And just to see the smiles on the faces. And I think there's something that happens when, and there's definitely something that happens when you put that costume on, no matter what it is. If you get all glammed out with makeup or whatever it is, but some of those walls, some of those things come down a little bit, and we just let our guard down a little bit more, and we just let ourselves just enjoy the moment, and we don't take ourselves too seriously. It's just a fun time. So on top of the on top of the invisible beard competition, which of course we're going to be bringing back again, and on top of the costume contest as well, we also have a tattoo contest, which I love, because not only is there a best, but there's also a worst category, and that has been a blast to see who wins that worst tattoo. And just when you think you've seen the worst tattoo, someone else walks in the door and says, no, you thought you had it, but here it is. And we have seen some doozies. And with the prize for that one being that the winner of the worst tattoo. They get a cover up with it. It's just a fun time. So throw into that the fact that we're raising money for the Ronald McDonald Houses in Northern Indiana, and we're also trying to have people bring in food and snack items for Halloween for us to take to the Ronald McDonald Houses for their food carts and their trick or treat things and all that stuff. It's just a great night all the way around. And we've got a few surprises that we have in there. We have some games that we have that kind of fall into that haunted carnival idea. So there's just a great time. And I look forward to that every year. It's always a great time. And it's always fun to see people come in for the first time. And I know we have some people that I know for sure are coming this year for the first time because they've heard so many great things about it. And that makes us feel great. So looking forward to that. But hey, going back to ECM for just a second, got to give a big shout out to the cap and co-cap there at Empire State because they got me something very tasty. And you can tell I say it's very tasty because it's very empty. I cracked that thing open the night they gave it to me, and I wanted to save a little bit of it so that I could at least, and I was sipping on it this week over the course of the weekend and then so forth, but I wanted to save a little bit of it left so I could come back here and start the podcast off tonight with some of it in a glass, the last little bit. So cheers to them. Thank you, bros, for getting that. For no one, you knew exactly how to get to my heart, right? But this Iron Smoke straight bourbon whiskey, man, yummy stuff. I'd never had this, which is kind of hard. I was surprised. I found something that I had never had before, and it's quite yummy. So sad to see it go because I've never seen it around here. But maybe next time I'm over there on the East Coast, I'll grab another bottle or source this out, see where I can find it near me. But thank you, gentlemen, again. Appreciate you. All right. So what have I talked about so far? I've talked about that Friday night meet and greet spot. That was awesome. We had the upper floor, a balcony that overlooks the road. Beautiful weather all weekend long. Some of you thought it was a little bit cool, but hey, me from Northern Indiana, I know us Midwesterners, us Midwestern Northerners, we were all about it. We were all about it. And for many of us anyway, 60 degrees, 65 degrees at nighttime, that is beautiful weather. That is beautiful weather. Now I know I carry on a little bit more. I got a little bit more padding, and so maybe I'm not a little twig, so maybe I don't get cold as easy. But man, it's I'll take 63 degrees and in the nighttime hours in shorts and a t-shirt all day long. And it was great weather all week. I think it did get a little chilly that last night on Saturday night, but not too terrible, man, for sure. It was couldn't ask for a better situation. Now I do want to talk about the worst part. The worst part. I told a few people about this story, and yeah, because I don't have an interview guest tonight, you just have to listen to me and just listen to me ramble on. I had one of it was probably the worst Uber experience that I've had. And man, I mean to tell you, old BP thought for a second that this Uber driver was just deciding to kidnap me and drop me off somewhere so I could get robbed by somebody. Because it was a sketchy ride that first time going to the meet and greet Friday night. So basically what happens is this. On the Uber app, I tried to type in the name of the place where the bar where this was handled at. And I typed in the name of the bar along with the address, and finally it came up. It wouldn't come up on the Uber app otherwise for me. And I had just updated the app too, which is crazy. But I'm standing there, and I put that as my location. And come to find out, it's on Pearl Street, of course. This facility is on Pearl Street in Buffalo. But unbeknownst to me, there was also a Pearl Street that was about the same distance to where I was supposed to go, but in an opposite direction. There was another Pearl Street. And apparently the Uber app thought that that's where I wanted to go. Now, I did not know at the time that the other one was where the other one was. I just assumed that if I typed the name of the facility in plus the name plus the address, because it wouldn't find it just by the name alone. So I typed in the name plus the address. Figured that's the best thing to do, right? Uber driver gets there. I confirm with the Uber driver that that's where I want to go. I even said that's going to the brewery. He's like, yeah, I get it. And not the best English speaker, I'll say, but I felt that he knew where I wanted to go. So off we went, and I noticed that we were starting to get like further and further out of town, a little bit more rural. And I thought to myself, well, this doesn't look right, because last I heard from what guys were telling me that it was downtown or pretty close to downtown area. That wasn't where we were going. And as we got a little further away, a little closer to the destination, it became apparent that now within a mile or two of the destination, I was nowhere near where I needed to be. And old BP started questioning things. I started asking some questions, and he did not seem to understand. His big priority was, well, let's figure it out when we get you there, right? When we get you to wherever this is taking us, then we'll figure it out. And that just didn't sound right to me. So I immediately jumped on a phone and called my co-cap, Ed, and said, hey, send me your location. Send me your location, and I'll try to send this driver to that location. I'll figure that out. And the closer we get to the supposed location where this was taking me, I realized how much further away I was getting from where I actually needed to be. And finally, when I got the location from Ed, realized, of course, the bad, way far away, and then realized that we were pulling into what could only be described as a 1960s subdivision that looks like it's not seen any daylight since then. But that was apparently what Pearl Street was over in this area. And there was no businesses around other than a couple that were shuttered, and not great residential area. And he basically just kind of stopped in the middle of the road and was like, okay, here. And I said, does this look like a brewery to you? And so I felt bad for him, because this whole time I'm trying to figure out how now I'm going to get, because am I going to request another Uber am I going to step out here in this sketchy neighborhood and just try to request another Uber and just hang out for 15 minutes while one shows up? Or am I going to try to get this guy to go? Well, I asked him if he could go, and he said, well, and while we're talking, he's turning down other rides, right, on his phone. So I felt bad. Long story short, well, not so short anymore. We come to an agreement. He figures out on his phone that if he were to do an Uber trip to the location I wanted to get to from that location, that in fact it would be X number of dollars through the Uber app. Now, some have told me this was probably some sort of a scam or something, but I honestly don't think that it was that. I think it was just cluelessness, because it did not feel like that was the case at all. That he had any idea where he was trying to take me the first time, and even had to be convinced where I was trying to get to the second time. So after about an hour in this gentleman's car, we finally got to the location. I had to pay him out of pocket a little bit of cash. Once I got there from Ed, thank you, Ed. I still owe you that money. But I finally got to the location I needed to be at. And I was going to send, I'm in the process of, I'm going to send Uber a little bit of a nastygram, because I don't know why their app wouldn't accept the actual location where I was trying to go the first time. So that was my Friday night. Worst Uber experience I've had. So I'm glad that I survived. And that was done. But yeah, then by the time I got there, it was, I think people were just about ready. About an hour after that got there to the meet and greet, people were just ready to kind of ho-hum, get back to the hotel and just chill for the parking lot party, which I love. I love a good parking lot party. And I love that so many of our events have a version of a parking lot party. And I've never to this day ever found one that rivals the old parking lot parties that we had at Beards for Bucko up in Canada, because those were some pretty epic parking lot parties when we had 50, 60 people just in a huge circle in the back parking lot at times at those, and maybe even more than that it could have been. But those are always just great times. So Friday night was a mess a little bit, but I got there and we enjoyed. And then Saturday morning, of course, getting up for that flag shoot. Of course, I had to make the comment when we get there to the battleship, hey, nobody told me about all these stairs. What did I think? They were going to be an elevator to get us up to the top of this thing? And we had to climb a bunch of stairs to get up to the top of that battleship, just to get to the main deck. But man, that thing was big, and I would love to go back and take the full tour. I think you can take a tour of both ships and including the submarine and go into them as well for like $23. So that would have been a really cool experience. Just unfortunately didn't have much time for that, but I'd go back there for sure and take that tour for sure for $23 to do all that. Would be very cool. So yeah, the flag shoot couldn't have been any cooler. Some really great shots there. Really great shots. We had a drone out flying around, which actually took some really awesome wide angle shots of all the guys there on the ship. And then I got to go and do after the flag shoot, I got to participate in my first unofficial. I've never done an actual food challenge, I would call it per se, and I got a chance to do one. And man, was this fun. I've been hearing about for weeks on end. Old Ed, he told me about this place called the Silo near Niagara Falls that you could go to. And they had this sandwich called the Haystack. And this thing was huge and it was incredible. It tasted amazing. And he could never even fathom trying to eat the full-size one, but he got the original, which was like a half size. And he told me about it before, about how great this sandwich was. And so knowing that we were going to be there, I get all excited because I'm thinking we're going to stop by there and I'm going to go try this sandwich out. So boy, there were probably about 10 or 12 of us that went over to the Silo and went over there to get some food. And only two of us were willing to take on the big haystack. I don't know what they call it, the foot long or whatever it is. But I mean to tell you, go out and Google. I got a picture of like after I'd started eating it, so it didn't really do it full justice, so I didn't want to share that. But if you go out and look for pictures of this thing, I mean to tell you, the thing was the length of the tray that I was eating on, and it sat up out of the dish that it had, this bun, this crazy huge bun. The meat and everything else inside the sandwich, it sat up a good 6-8 inches out of the bun. The thing was enormous, absolutely enormous. And when I saw it, I thought, oh, okay, yeah, well, let's try it and see what happens. And really cool part about it, number one, is that a lot of the times these food challenges where you go, you're going to try this thing and you're going to eat this big thing, right? A lot of times it's like you flip a coin to decide really if you really want to try it, because if you don't complete it, you have to pay for it, and it's like, $50, $60, $70, $85 or some huge amount. But if you accomplish it, it's free. Well, the cool thing about the Haystack is it's a huge sandwich, right? But it's not expensive, and you pay for it in advance, so it doesn't matter. And there's no T-shirt, no trophy, no anything for it. It's just kind of a known challenge to try and do. And it was actually there was actually an episode of that TV show, Man vs. Food, where he came in and tackled this thing too. And so me and my eating partner, that joined us for the day, the Mountain. Many of you know the Mountain. Man, good hanging out with him too. Good talks. We had a lot of good talks there. But we tackled this thing, and what's really crazy is as tall as he is and lean as he is, you would think that he would have struggled with this thing. If you know the Mountain, you know. But man, he did not struggle. He actually started eating his after I did and finished his before I did. I was truly impressed with what that man put down. But here's a photo of the two of us, man, after the fact that we tackled this thing, and proof in the pudding there with the little tray, my little plate that once held the big sandwich in it. And what's funny is I look at this picture, and the little tray that I'm holding that's empty doesn't look very big. Truly, it doesn't. But what you don't realize is, of course, that the sandwich stuck out over the top of that tray on both sides about 3 inches. So that thing was just barely holding that thing in there. But what a great, man, that thing tasted great. I was worried a little bit that having to drive home 8 hours the next day was going to cause an issue with the gut. But, man, the Mountain. Thank you for tackling this thing with me. It was a great time. Being able to have somebody there doing it at the same time I was. because I kept looking over and it kind of pushed me along. Now, if I was just by myself, I probably wouldn't have forced the whole thing down. I probably would have actually just kind of saved half of it or a part of it so I could eat it a little later because it tasted really good. But at some point in one of those kind of situations, at one point you just kind of go, I got to push through. This is the whole thing now, right? This is the thing. It's not so much how it tastes. It's not how much your gut might hurt. It's now it becomes the challenge. The first half of the sandwich is yummy, and you're really enjoying the taste and the flavors and stuff. You get to about that 3/4 mark, and you're like, well, now I have to go, right? You can't save it. You got to go. And so I remember looking back, and he has, of course, being the mountain that he is, he has these monster hands, and he just cut that thing in half and just manhandled it, but I think is what I saw him do. I actually kept cutting it into small pieces to eat small little bits of it at a time. But I remember looking back, and I had about a third of it, a little less than a third of it remaining, and he was finishing up his last bite, and I was like, man, that's insane. That's insane. But bad props to you, bro, and so good to talk with you, hang out with you for a bit this weekend. And congratulations to you as well. And what's the funniest thing that happens after this, right? We gorge ourselves on this huge sandwich called the haystack afterwards, right? And then we both realized, what's that over there? What's that little red building over there? Oh, they have ice cream? They have ice cream? You bet they did. And you would think after eating this huge sandwich that I wouldn't want anything else, but ice cream just sounded good. And so, yeah, went over and got 2 big heaping scoops in a dish of ice cream as well. I know I'm a glutton. And I was a little worried. Honestly, I was a little worried about halfway through my 3rd or 4th spoonful whether that was a great choice. But I didn't get sick, and I survived. And the ice cream, man, because it was getting a little bit warm that afternoon, and the ice cream hit the spot just right. So what a fun time this weekend was, man. All the way around. I once again, my my position in my I guess you'd call it, I don't know, with raffles. There was a time where old BP put in anything for a raffle, and there was about a 50-50 chance I was going to get that thing. There was one event that I put all my tickets into 4 things up in Canada one year, and I got all 4 of them. So I had a really great track record up until about 2 years ago for raffle items. And I felt like I had a path. I felt like I had a rhythm and how I was going to get these things. And oh boy, it's been a long time since I really won anything at a raffle. And I saw some things this year that were at this event at ECM. I thought maybe that'd be pretty cool to have. And nope, walked away empty again. No raffle, no raffle. But I did come away, of course, with this great bottle from our bros, and good times. But man, it was just such a great time. I had such a great weekend with this thing, and I'm never. That's the thing. The thing, as I said, the thing that sticks with me is always going to be the time spent with our brothers, the conversations, and the ability to be able to just hang out and just break down those barriers, those walls, and just have those great conversations and learn from our brothers, and just spend time in that brotherhood. That's the thing that we all love, I think, and it gives us that opportunity to be able to just do that. And so I'm very grateful to Empire State for not only putting on a great event and allowing those of us that were there to take part in that, but for giving us that opportunity, for giving us the opportunity to find that time to be able to do that, for giving us the opportunity to not feel like we have to do this, and now we have to go over here and do this, and now we have to, for giving us that opportunity to just enjoy ourselves and enjoy the time with our brothers. It was much appreciated, and I think that's a sentiment that many of us that were there will feel and have said already expressed. So thank you again for that. I'm gonna play this from one of our sponsors here real quick. Whether you're navigating the rugged terrain of the great outdoors or conquering the concrete jungle of the urban landscape, Bigfoot Beard Company has you covered. Bigfoot products are made with natural ingredients designed to help maintain a healthy, rich beard without leaving it feeling greasy and heavy. From classic cologne-inspired fragrances to fruity notes and earthy tones, there's sure to be a scent for every occasion. With worldwide shipping available, why not take an opportunity to walk on the wild side? Head over to Bigfoot Beard Company today. That's www.bigfootbeardco.com. Again, that's www.bigfootbeardco.com. All right. Thank you, Bigfoot Beard Company, for coming on board and staying on board as a sponsor for this here program. Guys, you know what? I told you it's going to be a shorter show tonight, and so I appreciate you hanging out with us, with me for tonight. And looks like a lot of people have decided that this is not the topic that they want to hear, and we lost several people in the last 15, 20 minutes. So that's fine. Totally fine. I get it. Not everybody wants to just listen to me drone on about stuff for a long period of time, even though this is my show. It's not my show. You know that. I know that. This show, as I've said, is as much my show as it is your show and vice versa. So I'm just grateful for this brotherhood that allows me the opportunity to talk about it, to talk about the experiences that I have, and to talk about all the cool things that our brothers are out there doing. So with that said, guys, I'm just going to wrap this thing up, let you get back to your Thursday night. So as I said before, every time we do this thing, I'm going to say that I want to challenge you to be the villain that the world needs you to be, because the heart of a villain never stops beating. Most important words I say every week, guys. Remember them well. It's okay not to be okay. If you are hurting, please find a brother to talk to. Remember, it's okay not to be okay. For now, have a great Thursday night. Enjoy this Friday night coming up. Enjoy the weekend ahead. I'll see you back here for episode 247 next week. It'll be better than this, hopefully. Until that time, take care. Stay safe.
Every chapter, every caption, part of a villain, bro. Life